from September to March, I had been relapsing on basically every bad habit you can imagine. I was playing video games or watching entertainment. I was eating more food than I needed, not necessarily junk food, but just stuff that was out of my diet, like honey, like all these different fruits, banana, kiwi, just eating in higher quantities when I wasn't even going to the gym that often. I stopped working out as hard to the point where my body got like soft and weak. I felt like a fat person. It just was not good for me. And I had this period lasted me 7 months. So imagine that. Imagine how you feel after relapsing one time for one day. You probably know how bad it feels, how you feel like shit. And then extend that for 7 months. Was not fun. But during this entire time, I would try to go back to my philosophy. I would try to go back to being a stoic, to being disciplined. And yet, it felt like I couldn't do it. I'd have this negative voice in my head saying, oh no, that isn't you. You can't, you're a hypocrite if you do that. Because yesterday, you relapsed on whatever habit it may be. And today, you're going to try to be stoic. You're going to try to be primitive again. But your behavior yesterday does not align with that. So therefore, if you go on YouTube and you start talking about primitivism and philosophy, if you start trying to go back to that, you will be a hypocrite. And hypocrisy is one of the things that I hate the most. I hate lying. I hate hypocrites. Not hypocrites, but hypocrisy. I hate being a hypocrite. I don't like telling people that I'm one thing when I'm actually not. It's so inauthentic and just not genuine at all. So that really, the threat of becoming a hypocrite, the threat of being that guy who says he's something when he's actually not, it really got to me. And so for the longest time, I just kept listening to that voice. I kept listening to that voice, listening to that voice, not doing anything with my days, being unproductive, wasting my life. The entire time, I had forgotten one of the most pivotal teachings in all of Stoicism, which, to be honest, I wasn't even all that aware of because I stopped reading Stoicism. But this teaching is simply that at all times you have full control over your mind and that you can decide what you do with your mind. You can choose how you act, how you react, how you behave. You have that freedom of choice available to you at all times, no matter what you're going through, no matter who's upsetting you, no matter what you feel like doing. You don't have to listen to any of these things because you have your reason there to act on. Your logic is there at all times, and if you wanted to use it, you could. You just have to use it. I mean, think of how many things are outside of your control. You can't control the weather, you can't control people, you can't control what people think of you. Not even your physical body is in full control because you may get into an accident or you may get sick unexpectedly. All of a sudden, you can't train for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, you're bedridden. Maybe for a few months, maybe for a day, maybe for life. These things are external, and so they're outside of your control. But the one thing that you do fully control is your mind. And so any decisions that come from the reason, any decisions that are made from logic, any decisions that are made from the conscious, they're consistent, they're in your best interest, and ultimately it's what leads to fulfillment. That freedom to choose how you act it's the only thing that we have. It's the only thing that a human really can say he fully owns. And so when we don't use it, when we act as animals do, which is listening to desires, listening to emotion, listening to our fears and anxieties, of course we lead an unfulfilling life. Acting on an emotional basis is not fulfilling. It feels like shit. Nobody likes doing it, even if we say that we should listen to our bodies and listen to our emotions. Most of us, especially men, we're not going to feel fulfilled listening to our emotion. What we need instead is to use our reason to mold the path for ourselves. We need to find and create our purpose. We need to create our purpose, our meaning in life, follow this path, and then ignore the distractions. That is what will make most of us fulfilled. And you do this by using your reason, by using your logic to cultivate that path, by using your logic to refuse temptation and to say, okay, I feel like doing this, but I'm not going to do it, because at the end of the day, I can control who I become, who I don't become. I can choose differently. I'm not obligated by this desire. I'm not obligated by my hunger or my thirst or my emotions to act in a certain way. I'm only a slave to that if I believe I am. But I have the power of reason. I've seen that reason can be used to mitigate any type of suffering, to overcome any type of adversity. I've seen that. And so now I'm going to act with intention. And that truly is the difference between reason and emotion. Reason is intentional. It's very intentional. It's something that you have to think about and actively engage with. But emotion is something that you can just do without even thinking. You don't even need to be present to be acting on an emotional basis. You don't have to sit down and say, okay, wait a minute, why am I acting this way? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? In fact, it's the opposite. Emotion is frequent and inconsistent, and it comes and goes. So you're never making a plan. You're never asking yourself why you're being this way, why you're doing this, why you're doing that. You're just doing. And of course, when you just do and you don't think at all, you're going to be pulled in all directions. You're going to be doing that thing over there because you feel like it. You're going to be doing this over here because you feel like it. Even if these two are contradictory, you'll be doing both actions because you feel like it. And then you sit down and wonder, why do I feel confused? Why do I feel like so directionless? I asked myself that question during my 7-month period of relapsing and inconsistency. I asked myself, why do I feel so directionless if I know what I'm supposed to be doing? And it's as simple as I wasn't controlling my mind, or better put, I wasn't using my mind to overcome my emotion. I was accepting my emotion, feeling it, and then acting on it. And acting unintentionally, acting without a clear vision, leads to confusion. Whereas the opposite, using your reason, leads to, intentional action. It leads to clarity. Clarity, purpose, fulfillment, these things are achieved with the power of intention. And the power of intention is only harnessed when you fully understand and accept and use the knowledge that you have the freedom to choose how you act at all times. It's going to be all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of stoicism, of the camera. I've been using the cinematic feature on the phone. I also have my Medium page in the description, where as of now, I'm not going to be able to post for a bit because I broke my keyboard and I can't even access my homepage. So no articles for the meantime, but soon I will be back. I'm hoping that by next week I'll be publishing my first article again. They're mostly on politics, philosophy, so check that out if you're interested. And yeah, see you guys on the next video. Thank you.